Y'all, we are fully into a trust recession, and tiny businesses like ours are the ones that bear the brunt of it. Thankfully, we are also the most nimble and flexible and agile ones, and we are able to respond quicker than these big bloated companies can. So I want to use my experience as a solopreneur for the last 25 years as an accredited small business consultant and walk you through some trust recession upgrades that you can make to your tiny business so that you come out on top even if maybe your competitors are struggling. First of all, what exactly is a trust recession? One definition I found online states it as a decline in customer trust and therefore purchases toward brands and businesses driven by heightened skepticism, conflicting information, and a more discerning public. Basically, it's what happens when nobody knows what to believe anymore. There are too many bad players, there are too many opinions, and there is too much BS. So your clients and customers just start to shut down. Here are some signs that your business is suffering because of the trust recession. If previously perfect funnels have slowly stopped converting over the last 12 months, if you're dealing with more skeptical or frustrated clients than ever before, if you've seen an increase in complaints or refund requests, but maybe you've also seen an increase of clients who came from referrals, or perhaps that step actually decreased. And if your marketing and ad costs are going up, people are clicking and engaging, but not buying. These are all signs that you might have a trust recession problem. So let's talk about what we actually do about it. I'm gonna talk about some of the most important and effective things that I have seen in my business and in my clients' businesses so that you can get an idea of what's working across industries, but this is not an exhaustive list. In order to get an exhaustive list, you gotta do the number one thing on this list. It's time to redo your market research. Market research should be done before you launch and then again every 3 to 5 years just to keep a pulse on your audience and what's going on in the marketplace. But when we're facing something like an economic recession or a trust recession, it's really important that we do this again because big shifts in the marketplace mean big shifts in your client's mindset, their needs, their goals, and so you really need to tap into that and understand it. It's important that you are getting these answers from their mouths and not your mind. We can take educated guesses for sure, especially based on conversations or things you're seeing in the marketplace, but the more you talk to your ideal audience, the more clarity you're gonna get. Please do not do this through a survey. I actually call these clarity calls. I teach how to do them in Breakthrough Boss, and I really insist that people do them through a phone call or a Zoom call or a toe-to-toe conversation with somebody, because the answers and the depth of responses that you get in those conversations versus a survey, night and day. Surveys are almost useless for this purpose. Number 2, you need to get more reviews and testimonials. This is called social proof. And in a trust recession, when nobody knows who to trust, they want to see more and more social proof, especially social proof that is hard to fake. So this is things like Trustpilot reviews, video reviews, screenshots of people's actual feedback to you, not written testimonials that you are then typing up on your computer that look like they could have come from anybody. I also recommend that you focus on photo testimonials, things maybe like before and after pictures or any sort of images that prove the offer does what you say it does. Now, this can be tricky. Not all industries lend themselves well to this. I'm in an industry where a lot of people don't want to share the financial results they got from a program like mine. And so instead, I will lean on video reviews or Trustpilot reviews. I have a client in the adult space. Her clients don't want to have their face on anything. They're not going to give her a video review. So she just does the best she can with what she has. But it's really important that you get as many of these as you can and that you get them on a regular basis so that they're not getting older. People don't trust a review that's more than like 12 months old these days. Now, if you need help with this, I have a free guide called Social Proof That Sells that talks you how to get your next 20 testimonials in as little as the next week. So make sure you check the description, download that for free, and use those systems there. The third thing we need to do for a trust recession upgrade is to upgrade our messaging to match their current concerns. So in that market research that you did, you're finding out how are things affecting them? Where are they at? How do they feel about buying from people like you? What are their concerns? And we are going through every relevant, important page, sales pages, about page, home page, as well as social media bios, anywhere you need to go through, make a list and go through and see what you can do to upgrade your messaging, to make it more timely, more relevant to the current environment that your audience is dealing with. So for instance, if your audience is really stressed out right now, your language needs to speak to that before you start getting into more positive language. You need to talk to them about the fact that I know you're stressed. I know we're going through uncertain times. I know that money's tight right now. Talk to them where they're at and then take them to where you can take them to. So when we're talking on a sales page, a lot of times this is why sales pages will talk about the problem first, right? All we're doing when we're doing this is letting the audience know that, hey, we get it. We know what you're going through. We know what you're facing, and we have a solution for you. But if you don't start by talking about where they're at, what they're struggling with, where their concerns are, they're not gonna have enough trust that what it is you're offering can solve that concern. Even if you're selling a product-based business like clothing, right now your audience is dealing with concerns like quality. How can you address that on the page? How can you use copy that talks about the fact that you know they're so frustrated with this, and here's what your company is doing differently? Number 4, stop using AI. You don't want to sound like you're using AI. You don't want to look like you're using AI. People buy from people, especially people they know, like, and trust. But more than that, they want to know, like, and trust that you are a human being. Right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of business owners are saying you have to use AI, you have to use AI. And this is a classic case of listening to your competition instead of listening to your audience. Because when you listen to the audience, when you look at the comment threads, there's so many people saying, this reads like AI, this sounds like AI, and people are getting fed up with it. I'm seeing this on LinkedIn. Every other post, probably 4 out of 5 posts, are all AI. You can spot it. It's the M dashes, it's the list of 3, it's not this, it's that. All of that language in there is turning off your audience, and especially in a trust recession, they want to know that they're speaking with you, that they're connecting with your business, not with a machine. So by all means, use AI to automate things for you, use it to help you brainstorm, use it to help make your job easier, but don't use it to replace your voice. And definitely don't use it to make videos with fake AI faces, because everybody hates those, and they hate the fake AI voices as well. If you agree with this one, comment below and let me know so that other people can see that audiences don't love AI, even if businesses do. This leads us to number 5. We gotta get down to earth. We gotta stop sounding like infomercials. We gotta stop sounding like a marketing campaign, and we gotta start sounding human. Not just not using AI, but humanizing our experiences, talking about our mistakes, talking about the things that make us human. In a digital age where we don't know who to trust and everything is overhyped and so many things have a pretty little polish on it, and then it makes us feel bad about ourselves, people want to gravitate towards people that are like them, that they can relate to. You can still be aspirational, you can still be inspirational, but talk about who you are and what you do and allow other people to connect with you, especially if you're a personal brand. But even if you're not a personal brand, put some personality into your brand. Put some human into that brand, because other humans, that's who we connect with. We connect with stories and we connect with people we can relate to. So 2 tips to help you with this. Number 1 is write like you talk. So if you're writing an email or a blog post or a caption, go ahead and talk it out and then write down what you said. This way it sounds human, it sounds like you, and it sounds like, especially if you're a personal brand, it sounds like how people are going to hear you when they're actually interacting with you. The second tip is to picture your favorite client, the person that you want 100 more of. Picture them right in front of you and talk as though you're just talking to them, right? So maybe you're laughing together, you're using slang or certain stories. How would you connect with this person? Talk to your broader audience as though you were talking to one person in that more friendly, intimate, comfortable way, because that's going to draw more people in. They're going to see that human side of you and be able to connect better. Number 6 goes along with this, and that is to create more real life content. Now, this is coming with a caveat because I am a person who I used to share all of my life, every single thing about our family, where we traveled, everything was online. And then we went through an experience where our son was about 12 at the time, and he was like, hey, I'm uncomfortable with people knowing my stories when I don't even know who they are. Like, we had strangers walking up to us in grocery stores asking him about projects he was working on. And he was like, this ain't cool. Like, I'm not okay with this. And so I had to pull back a lot of our private life and start shifting what I was doing online. And this actually ended up being a really beautiful thing because I went back to an era when privacy reigned and every single thing you thought or ate did not go online, and you had a whole separate life other than the internet. And I personally really enjoy that. We don't share a lot of our private life these days. So I know that it can be difficult when you're trying to share more real life stories and you're trying to connect with people. There are ways to do it that still honor your privacy. This takes a little bit of experimenting to see what aligns with your values and your boundaries. But for me, I will still share some stories. I'll still share mistakes. I'll share things often after the fact. So something that happened months, even years ago. And I won't share in the moment things. So I won't tell people that we're traveling because, that's a privacy issue. I don't want somebody to know our house is going to be sitting empty. But I might share those travels a month later or a couple months later. You can also just share micro stories from your life without sharing big details. So I know a lot of people don't put their kids' faces online, and I highly recommend that. I know people that won't use their kids' names online, also recommend that. But what they will do is they'll maybe do an artistic photo where the child's face isn't showing, or they'll tell a micro story from the day without giving away personal details that might be too personal for them or for their family. So they're not just respecting their boundaries, but we're also respecting our kids. And I say this having had a child who was very upset with the fact that I made his life very public without his permission. And now he's in his 20s and he's a very private person. He has no pictures of him online. We don't share his name online anymore. You can dig around and probably find it if you really want to. But we have really pulled back because we didn't realize at the time, this was, 2008 to 2011 or 12 when I was really intensely blogging. We were new. We were like pioneers in this public online space. And so we really didn't realize the impact long-term that it would have on our kids. And so I really recommend that you do keep some privacy, but find ways to humanize you, to share real life, to share those mistakes and stories so that people can relate with you and just know that you're a real human. Number 7, when it comes to your offers, in order to get through this trust recession, you need to increase the human touch or support in that offer. So this could look a lot of different ways, but I'm going to give you an example for me. My Breakthrough Boss program used to just be a DIY program, and then I started adding more support to it. So you have the forum, and I try to do bonus group calls when I can do them. The more that I can be involved in that, the more trust I'm building with people. In today's day and age, it's really important to understand that it's not enough to just deliver what you sold. If you want to stand out in a trust recession, you need to over-deliver on what you sold. And this is really easy to do if you build it into the offer, right? So all you're doing is building out the offer, pricing it appropriately, and then taking a little section of it, and that's going to be a surprise. You're not going to tell everybody that they get this little extra thing. You're over delivering in their mind. So think about the service or the offer that you provide and look for ways that you can add fun little bonuses or surprises all along the way so that you are over delivering. But also look to see, what does your interaction look like with your clients or customers? And how can you over deliver simply by the way you're interacting? Great customer service is shocking to people these days. So the more you can pad that into your SOPs, your company culture, all of your interactions, the more you're going to build trust in a trust recession. This leads us into number 8, which is start handling problems or complaints faster and with humility. Basically, don't make somebody wait a day or several days to get a problem solved. Obviously, we're gonna have days where we just can't get to it, or an email comes in right after we've shut everything down. Sometimes there's gonna be delays. You don't have to be perfect at this for it to be powerful, but you do have to do your best to really show up to serve that other person. I see so many people in our world today, business owners, who really kind of take advantage of their clients. They don't realize that their clients are paying their bills. They exist to serve this other person. That person does not exist to serve them. I want you to come at this from a different place. I want you to show up to serve. I want you to have some humility when you or somebody in your company makes a mistake. I want you to have a way to respond to those things that apologizes, that validates the person, and that does what you can do. Build this in. Have some things that you can offer to make up for any mistakes or issues that might happen. Again, this is going along the lines of over-delivering. And there's actually been research that shows that if you can do this well, you can make somebody like you even more than if you hadn't made the mistake in the first place. Because again, most people are humans and they understand that you're a human and they just want to be treated well. So if you just show them, hey, we're human, we made this mistake, but I apologize, we're going to fix this for you, and we're going to even give you some little extra on top of it, that is going to win them over. They're going to forgive you, they're going to love you, and they're probably going to refer you to other people. Don't be afraid to go above and beyond. Nobody else is doing it, so this is how you stand out in a trust recession. And then number 9, take a stand for something, anything. You don't have to get political. It doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be polarizing, but know what your values are, know what your company values are, and stand on those things loudly. Bring it into your content, bring it into your website or your emails. Tell people what you're about. Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And yes, I do think they buy what you do as well. You do have to do what you're doing well. But if what you do is coupled with a strong why, this is where you really win people over. Because more than ever right now, people are looking for depth. They're looking for meaning. They're looking for purpose. They're looking for deeper values, and they're looking for other people that live those values out loud. So you decide what that is, what aligns with you and your brand, but make sure you are bringing it into what you do in every instance that you can. Leave me a comment below to let me know some of your company values, or maybe some other things that you are doing to be able to stand out in this trust recession. And if I have given you at least one good idea to implement, will you give this video a thumbs up? That helps me out a ton. And hey, if you trust what I am saying here, will you also share it with others who need to hear this message? All of that helps this channel get found, and I appreciate it so much. And let me leave you with this. Trust takes time to build and mere seconds to destroy. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to give a damn. Fist bump in the comments if you watched to the end. You got this.